Okay, I think we are live. So, welcome everyone. I'm Sanjay Gupta. I welcome you on Sanjay Gupta Tech School. So, as you all know, we started a new bootcamp that is based on AI and ML with the help of Python. So, from today, we are starting its day one. So, we already had the overview session where we discussed like what we will be doing in this bootcamp. So, let's start with the day one, and you will get to know like how to install the Python, what Python is, and few more things about Python. So I'm not the expert, and I have expert with me. So welcome Nikita on the platform, and
Thank you.
yeah. So I just want to introduce. So if you can go to the next slide.
Yes,
So
sure.
she's running her own venture that is Silicon Heights Education and having 7 years of experience as an educator, right? So basically, she's doing this from quite a long time, and like we decided if you can share that knowledge with the community so that like in market we can see AI trend is going on and people are learning quite few
Understand it is more user friendly. That means I understand it better. It's mostly language that I understand, right? And the computer understand because computer understands only the zeros and the ones. So that is how our language or our Python has to be translated into, right? So anytime it has into the machine code, and only after that you can make the computer understand as to what exactly we want from the computer or the IDE. So the instructions that we pass on are called the program, and the language in which I am going to write it, it's going to be high level language. That's going to be Python. And why is it interpreted? Because in the interpreted language, what happens is the execution happens line by line. So if there's a problem in every line, the code will stop running in that particular line, and until you solve the error of that line, it is not going to move ahead. Right? What happens with the compiler? I'm going to state it in the next files coming. Then we have its object-oriented nature. It's also an object-oriented programming language, just like Java, but it is more advanced. And object orientation, I'm going to take it in the slides where I'll tell you about how to create the object, how exactly does it work. So it is in a very short way. It's represented over here. However, we are going to do that in a glance in the coming up sessions. Then, of course, it has got easy to learn syntax because all your as we discussed that day that it is a less voluministic code, because obviously it's not a lengthy code to write Python, because we don't have to have a lot of header files and return statements and semicolons. We don't have to do any of that. It's just basic, like you instruct the computer, you instruct the IDE that you have to print a statement, so it's going to print it for you. Right, you do not have to have any sort of header files to include those sort of functions from the files. It is already there. Okay, so that's why it is very learn like easy to learn syntax. Then we move on to what exactly is the interpreter. If I'm saying that Python is an interpreted language, then what do we exactly mean by the interpreter? So interpreter is a computer program that converts each high level language program, and here it is Python, into a code that is computer can understand. But how? It does that by line. So everything is executed, every program is executed line by line in Python, and it stops on the line where it finds the error in. So you have to be very careful about the line, and you have to like eliminate all the errors, and then probably you will get the output. However, while we do the compilation, while the compilator, like the compiler's work or the language that is associated with compilation, then if that is working, so how does that work? The execution of the whole program is done. Probably the output is not there. However, the program does get executed, but it will not generate an output until and unless you are going to clear all the errors from the program. So that's how it happens in any of the programming language. Either it is like interpreted language or a compiled one. So the output you will only get upon correction of every error. But we say that execution takes place if it is a compiled language. So it converts the high level language into machine language, and it executes the full code and tells the error in the end. The output is not displayed until the errors are rectified. That's about the compiled language. Now, Python is an interpreted language. Next is Python's features. Like, what exactly do we mean if we talk about Python? Why is it different? Like, why am I studying Python and not studying C programming at this stage? That's because it has got certain, tenacity. It's got certain value over all the other programming languages that we have studied. And since we are going to move into a direction where we are going to do the machine learning algorithms, then for that reason we have to have a versatile programming language which is available for on all the cross platforms. It is available, and my programmings are able to run on every platform possible, right? So let's see what features does it hold. So we've got a dynamic semantics as first feature of Python. So what do we exactly mean by dynamic semantics is that when we used to write a program in the C programming language, we used to always write the data type, and then we used to write the variable and equals to, and then we used to write the value that is going to be assigned to that particular variable to tell them that, or to tell the IDE that this variable can only have the integer value, or this variable is only having float value. But in Python, you do not have to generalize, or you don't have to specify that this is the type of variable that we should have. A data type specification in Python is not required. You just have to put in the variable, and then you have to put equals to, and then you have to put the value that you're going to input to that variable. So if you write a is equal to 10, it is equally good as writing int a is equal to 10 in the C programming, if that was your first programming. However, if Python is your first programming, then it's absolutely fine. You can, just stay on it. It's not mandatory to know other programming languages, but if you know it, it's just the added advantage that you would be learning more, like you will be learning Python more, more interestingly, or you will be knowing the certain nuances of Python in even more better way. So that's the advantage of learning this as a third programming language or second programming language. Then you have expressive language or easy to learn and use. So this we already have studied before, that it is easy to learn and easy to use language. Then we have expressive, like it's expressive because when I studied programming, or when I studied Python as a programming language, I found it like, I don't have to be very technical about it. So I used to study its functions, and also they were very easy and readable, understandable, and just the execution was also fast. So it was like what a programmer needs. Then we have the cross-platform language. So Mac, Linux, Unix, Windows, it is available for all the platforms. And then finally, we have got its vast standard library that we have, because now that you are going to go ahead in the machine learning, then you should be knowing that in machine learning you require a lot of libraries, because you will be having NumPy, you will be having other pandas, you will be having scikit, you will be having lots of other libraries that will be available in the Python, that's most versatile feature of Python. So this is what we believe that, that's why this is one of the languages that is used to create the ML algorithms. So probably that's why we are doing it over here today, because our, the domain and the further paths are related to this particular language. Now let's come to a thing that is called a program. So what exactly is a program? So mostly people are still in confusion that what do we call a program, what exactly is a program. Mostly we just learn a language for the sake of learning a language for the exams or something like that. But now I believe that you should be learning it to absorb it in a way so that you are able to apply it everywhere possible. So when you learn any language, until and unless you see the world through that language, you probably haven't absorbed it enough. So only when you are able to see the world through it, you are able to apply it coming in any domain. That's when you would know that, you are just Pythoning. Yeah. So a set of instructions that you give to an IDE so that it can perform the required operation. That is what we call a program. I've given a program over here, though I have not executed any of them as of now in this session, but I'm still giving you an idea of how an elementary program of Python looks like. So as you can see, I have not specified any sort of like data type over here. This variable a is carrying a value, integer type value, and I do not have to tell it that you are only going to hold integer value. It's pretty much obvious that it is going to hold integer sort of value because I am assigning it the integer value. Secondly, b is equal to 6. So I am going to assign 6 to b, and that's the b variable is going to hold this value in its address. Okay. Then we go to the c variable, and where we add or where we hold the value of the addition of a plus b. So all the addition of a plus b is going to be assigned to the variable c. Okay, if that comes out to be integer as well, because int plus int is always in int, that's why that's going to be assigned in the variable c. And then finally, I'm going to print it with the help of the print function. So this is a 4-line program of addition of two numbers or two integers of or two numbers, in fact, of integer type. And this is how it looks. So it's very easy. I don't have to exactly explain you what it is. If you would see it, you would automatically understand it. That is why we call it as understandable language, right? Easily usable, readable language. So this is the advantage of Python over every other language that you would see. Then we have Python applications. In the data analysis, if you're someone who has gone through this analysis of data in every domain, we will have to analyze a lot of data, because today data is a new oil, and that's what you are learning this language for, because most of you will be placed in such a domain where you would be assigned the task to analyze the data. That's the first application of Python. Then you have robotics. Then you have web and desktop application. Now I'm going to specify that for this one we need to have the framework like usability. This is what you need to learn. So frameworks like Django and Flask are used to build robust web applications. Then you go on to data science and machine learning. That is our task. So here we need to learn about the libraries called Pandas, NumPy, Scikit, and TensorFlow also. Then it is also used in network programming, web scraping, and data visualization. So these are some applications of Python. Though you should know that Netflix also uses Python, YouTube also uses Python, Google also uses Python. They all have different usages. I can be concise in telling you that Netflix would use Python for making the buffering task a little easier, because buffering is not usually something that comes at a very low cost. It has to be having a lot of intensified programming behind. So Netflix is using Python on the back end for buffering and all other purposes. Same way Google in every other application, it is using Python, and there are a lot of usages of Python that, of course, I could not contain all of them in my PPT, but there are still a lot of usages of Python. Today we will also write our first Python program, but before that we will go and install the Python. So you all have to go to the PyCharm. You will with me go to the link that I'll show it to you. So I'll just share my screen for that.
So she will be telling installation steps for Mac and Windows both. So whatever system you will be having, so accordingly you can follow the steps. So are you sharing another screen?
Yeah.
Okay.
1 second.
Yeah, it is shared.
So we will have to download our PyCharm. That is the ID that we are going to use. and you will go directly to the PyCharm Community Edition. Here you will download the file, and then it is going to take you to the downloads folder, respective of the Windows and Mac. Both will be going on into the download section only. In the Mac, you will have to wait for like 2-3 minutes. It just has to get downloaded, and then perhaps after that, when you download it, so it is going to be there, and you will have to place it into the application folder, and only after that you will have to execute that. Okay, that's the task for Mac people. So since I have already downloaded that, it would look like
Sharing stopped. Are you sharing
yeah,
again? Okay.
because I had to share the
Okay. Yeah. Now it is visible.
yeah, right. So this is how this framework would work. This IDE of PyCharm would work for the people who are in who have downloaded it in Mac. For those who have downloaded it in Windows, it is .exe file that you can either directly go from downloads to .exe, and then you can just double click and it is going to execute. It will install once you say that yes, you want to run it. So it's going to ask for the permission. It's going to run it for you, and then it will ask if you would like to have the changes in the Windows. So like we have worked in both of them. That's why I don't think there's any problem with me. In case if there's any problem with you, you can please comment and let us know so we can guide you through. So yeah, I have told you the steps for both of them. In case if you are done, you all can let me know. And after that, we are going to write our first program. But we'll wait for you all just 2 minutes. We'll wait so that everybody who
Yeah.
is
In the meantime, can we show the steps from slide for Windows
yeah,
and Mac and
sure.
Windows for both? Yeah.
Is my like whole screen sharing? Like my desktop is sharing?
Yeah. Whole desktop is shared, and I think if
Okay,
you
fine.
show the slides, it
That's
will be visible.
that's okay. So there you go.
Yeah. So these are the steps. Okay. If we go back, so we can show both the steps again. So first, yeah, this is the Mac.
So for the yeah, so we will have to download the PyCharm from the community version, and as I told you, then place the PyCharm ID in the applications folder, and then you can install it from the folder itself.
Okay. And what about Windows?
For the people of using the Windows, you will have to go download the PyCharm same and install the .exe file. Now, if I'm going to I'm going to show you the first program. You just see, so there are some cases have been there where you have to download the Python also. Okay, so it is better to also download the Python main from python.org. This is going to be same for everybody. Now, just that for Mac people, you will have to use this one. You can see Mac OS, so download Python. So everybody can run it on their own computers, and then for this one also, Windows, you can choose, and then you can download Python. Okay, in case your PyCharm doesn't work upon downloading and execution doesn't happen, then you can go to the python.org, download the latest version of Mac OS and Windows, and then work. So this has to be there in the PC. That's why. Apart from PyCharm. If PyCharm is not working independently, then it will start working. Because there have been cases where it was not. So that's why I thought just a precaution we can take to tell you that you could download this from python.org, and then you can run the PyCharm file that we are going to run today.
Yeah,
So
I
we
think
write our first program.
yeah, we
Yeah.
can move ahead and we can demonstrate. So if you can maximize this because you need to increase the font size as well.
I will. I'll just share this ID only.
Okay, yeah.
Check.
Yes.
Better?
Yes, it is better now.
Okay. So as you can see, I've written my first file over here. That's going to be our first file.py. You should know that you will always use for the Python file, you will use .py as your extension. Okay. And we write that first program. Let's say I'm doing it for you. So print.
Can we increase the font size for this?
Yes, I'll just do it. Is it okay?
Little bit more. Yes.
Works?
Yes, now it is.
Okay. All right, people. So if you all have written it, this is going to be your first one. And now we will run this one, first file.py. So I'll run. So I'll just close this main.
So we will be having run menu. Actually, your menu bar is not visible. So if you can say like on which button you are clicking, so that would be good.
On the top, there's run button that you have to click. There's play button also in the first file.py. I've written the right name, first file.py. And okay. So maybe I will also have to download it.
Yeah, I think some error is coming. SDK is not defined.
That's about the Python interpreter. So everybody will have to download that python.org thing that I was telling.
Okay, so you are doing it right now?
Yeah, I just did.
Okay. Okay, guys. So, like, you need to download that additional thing from python.org, then only it will be working. So, if you see this error, then only you need to do. Otherwise, you can run your code.
Because Python interpreter has to be there and it isn't activated in PyCharm. So, just a moment.
And
okay, close.
Yeah, that screen is not visible, so I think people will be able to follow.
I'll close the Python and then run again.
Okay. So guys, just wait. She will be sharing screen again. So is there any configuration issue that is not being resolved?
No, I think it was just about that Python interpreter not being there, but now it should be coming. I believe so.
Okay, so you are restarting PyCharm, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me run that and I'll just show my screen. Okay.
Sharing again.
Yes. Okay, done. I'm sharing again. Okay. Can you see it? Is it visible?
Yeah, so below I can see
There you
it is
go.
showing high PyCharm. Yeah.
The only thing was we had to download the Python interpreter.
Mhm.
When you run it through the .py file, you run it from here. Okay, this is the play button if you can see, right? From here you can run the first file .py. That's it. I'll create another file for you so that you have an idea. So file, new, Python file, second file .py, Python file. Okay, here. So as I said, a is equal to 10. I'm assigning the value to a. B is equal to 20. I'm assigning the value to b, that is all integer type. And then I will assign the addition of this a plus b
Just to interrupt
to
again,
c.
we need to
And I
increase
do
the
not,
font size. Actually, it is very, yeah, yeah. Now it is visible. Yeah.
yeah. Okay. So I'll just minimize whatever we don't require. Okay. So as you can see, without the semicolon, it's all working. And then we will print the addition of a plus b, that is c. And I will run it for you. That's going to be, first I will choose which file I have to run. That is going to be the second one, second file.py. This is what I need to run. And then I'm going to go there and then play this out as it played. Current file, run. Choose the interpreter. That's going to be Python interpreter and run it. So you can see the output is 30. I will increase the font size. Here is the output. That's 30.
So while you clicked on that play button, so you said we need to select the interpreter. So that screen was not visible. So that will be a pop-up, right?
That will be a pop-up. They will ask you the interpreter. You will have to choose the Python interpreter, whatever you
Okay.
have installed.
Okay.
Yeah. So this was your first Python program. Please let me know if there's any error.
Yeah, I think move ahead. We can move ahead. So if anybody will be having an issue, they can just comment.
All right. So in this one, you should know that A is the variable, 10 is the value of that variable now, B is again the variable, and 20 is the value of the variable that is assigned to the address B. Now, this is final. The addition has been done. So this is the addition operator. So I'll just write it for you. It's the addition operator. Okay. Now we will move on to find out the multiplication operator. So I'm going to take another variable d is equal to a, take away b. That's going to be, or I should say b take away a over here because I've taken the b as a bigger value. So then I'm going to print it for you. So this is the subtraction operator. So subtraction operator.
And this
Now what am I
hash,
doing is I'm putting the comments. Hash means comments. So these are just to specify what exactly I'm doing. So hash means you can write anything, any number of lines over here to execute, and it is not going to execute it anyway. So this means ignore, but it is there in the program just to explain you what exactly I was doing. So that's all what I've written. I've taken the use of print function. Print function is the output function. It is going to generate an output for you, right? And the hash is going to be the ignorant part, as in it's not going to run anyway. So it's not going to create any error for us. Yes. That's it. So any doubt? I mean, I think you were asking anything.
Yeah, you
Really?
already answered. I just wanted to know what is
Okay.
hash so that everybody knows.
So now we will print the D because that's what we have figured out. So B minus A, the value is stored in the D variable. So we are going to run this up, and then we'll again choose the interpreter for this and then run. That's it. So as you can see, the output we got is 10. Works?
Yes, it is.
Then we will move on to taking another E variable wherein I'm going to store the division. So B by A and then execute it. So print print E. Yeah. So again run. And actually I will apply the interpreter throughout. Now it will not ask. Okay. Now you see that it has given us the result of 2.0. That's 2.0 is because by default, the division, Python understands the division as a floating because the output is always not going to be in the integer value. It is going to be in the any sort of it could be decimal value. So for that reason, the by default operator for division process is or by default data type for the division process is going to be float. So float is any decimal value can be plugged into the variable. Okay, so B by A is generating a decimal value. Here it is integer though, but overall, if I would write maybe 1/2, if I would write A by B, right? Let's say I write A by B in the next one. So we'll get a 0.5, isn't it? So 10 by 2 is going to be 0.5. So F I'm going to take, F is equal to, let's say we'll take A by B, right? And it's going to be again division, but I'm going to print it for you. So print F, that's it. We'll execute and we will get a decimal value. So there you go, 0.5. So if you can see, by default, it was giving us a floating value. So this is the difference over here. We do not have to specify that this is going to have a float. In C, I think we need to specify a float for the division operator wherever we have done the operations. So there we had to specify the output could be floating, but here we don't have to. So this is a difference and the advantage of Python. Okay. Then we will move on to what we have done is division, we have done addition, we have done subtraction. Then we will move on to the G, that is going to be multiplication. So let's say A times B. So A star B is the functioning for this. We'll print it. Print G. And it's done. So 10 times 220 is 200. So that's how we got the operators. This was our first file where we studied about all the operators. Now let's say I would do H is equals to A star 2, A double star 2. Let's see what does it print. And then you might just realize what exactly is it showing you. So I'll just play that for you and run it. If you can see over here, it has displayed the output as 100. Now, what exactly do we mean by 100 is that when A was 10, because the value of A is 10, and if I'm putting double star and 2, it is generating a result of 100. So from here, we can derive that this is the operator, the double star is the operator for exponent. Okay, exponent means power. If I would write rather than 2, I would write 3 over here, it would generate 1,000 for us. So if I execute this one, we will get 1,000, right? So this is a power operator. So I'll just specify this one as the right OPERATO. Yeah, or it's also called exponent in other terms. So this was the execution of the operators. Now, I think here also I will specify, let me just do it. That's it. This was about the operators.
Okay.
Let's move on to the next file. Yeah.
Yeah, you can go ahead. I was just asking like we are going to cover something else or not. Yeah.
Yeah. Certainly. So the next one is 1 second. I'll create the new file. Yeah. I hope it's visible to you.
Just type something, then I will let you know.
Should I increase the font size will be here?
Yeah, now it is better. So, yep.
It's better?
Hmm.
Okay. Okay. So the second one was, I think we'll take up the other operators. That is, maybe we'll take the comparison operator. And here these were all the arithmetic operators. So operators. Okay. The second file of bitwise, there are 3 more operators that I need to do. That is comparison, bitwise operators. So maybe I will do another one as okay, visible?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So let's execute. Suppose we have A is equal to 40. And suppose we have, if I'm going to just have a print. So let's say I'm printing this A over here. So it's just going to generate the current file. So we'll have the letter. It's going to simply produce the output as 40. Whatever you're going to put into this statement, this A variable, that is going to be generating the output. And yeah, the next one is if now I compare, or maybe I just give the variable, let's say that B is equals to 10. Okay. And I over here say that print if, so we'll write B. 1 second. I hope it's not glitching because it's glitching at my end.
Little bit, but yeah, you can go ahead. I think No such issue, so you can go ahead.
Okay. So I'll say A double equals to B. So this is how I'm going to compare if A and B have the same values. So let's say where we don't know what value it is, but let's say that, you know, uh, we are going to find out if A is equal to B. So this is what a comparison operator is. This is double equal to sign, which shows you that, we are comparing A and B values. So here you can see that the output is false. That means it knows that, the value of A is not equal to B. Had there been a value of B also equal to 40, then it would have been generated true. Otherwise, it's false. Okay, this one was the first operator. Now I'll say that, let's say print A is not equal to B. Okay. Let's see what does it produce. That's a true. Because we know that A is not equal to B. 40 is not equal to 10. So that means our operations are absolutely fine. Then we have another operator of greater than and less than. So print if A is greater than B. And I also write print A is less than B. So you all should know that for this A is greater than B, it should be a true. And for A is less than B, it should be a false. But let's check what do they tell us? So here we have to run. And you can see that it's a true for A is greater than B, but a false for A is less than B. Okay, this is how it's working. Finally, we'll see greater than equal to and less than equal to. These are also mathematical signs. So I know that you must all be knowing it, but it's just that we are doing programming and we have had to have a discussion about the operators. So A is greater than equal to B and print A is less than equal to B. Okay, so let's see. So you can see over here, if I would say A is greater than or equal to B, of course A is greater than, not equal to, but definitely it is greater than B. Then in A less than equal to B, so we are checking either A is less than equal to B or it is going to be greater than equal to B. Means if it is equal also, then also we will produce a true. If it is greater also, then also we will produce a true. Only on the less than, we will produce a false for this statement. And then for this one, if it is less than or equal to, then true. Then otherwise, if it is greater, it's false. Okay, for this one. So you should know the outputs are absolutely correct, where the true resembles the output for this one, where it is greater than B and less than equal to B is false. So these are 6 types of comparison operators that you have studied with me. The second file was based on the arithmetic operators that you were doing. So yeah, do we have more time?
No, I was just about to say that. So, I think we
Okay.
covered a lot, and we are on time. So, maybe in our next session we can cover a few more operators, and along with some proper
Sure.
examples where we'll be having some scenarios and complete code we'll be implementing and showcasing like how it will execute. Okay.
Yes.
So,
All right.
anything that you want to say?
No, I'm okay.
Okay. So,
I just
guys,
hope that every program was means you were able to run the programs, because of course, we glitched in a for a meantime, but yeah, we went through. So you should be knowing that you always have to have this interpreter installed. That's the only way out for the PyCharm to work. That's it, yeah.
Okay, so those who are following this bootcamp, just a request, like please set up Python in your system, whether you are using Mac, Windows, or Linux, and try writing these codes which Nikita discussed in today's session. And in upcoming sessions, more concepts she will be discussing and more examples you will see. So if you follow the sessions, you will be able to learn Python totally, and basis on that you will be able to learn like how AI ML algorithms works, right? So if you want to learn those things, you need to go through all the sessions, then only you will be able to understand the complex stuff, right? Okay, so with this note, we take your leave, and thank you, Nikita, for sharing the knowledge with the community, and see you in the
Thank you,
next
sir.
session then.
Yeah.
Okay, bye everyone.